Ginger is not only a versatile and flavorful spice used in a variety of culinary dishes, but it's also surprisingly easy to grow at home. In this video, we'll guide you through the process of selecting, preparing, and planting ginger root to help you cultivate your own supply of this wonderful ingredient. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or new to growing your own herbs and spices, we've got you covered with helpful tips and techniques. Ginger comes in various types, each with its own distinct characteristics. The most common type is Zingiber officinale, also known as common ginger, which is widely used in cooking and for its medicinal properties. Turmeric, although not technically ginger, is closely related and often included in discussions about ginger. It's prized for its vibrant orange color and known for its anti-inflammatory properties. Another variety is the ginger lily, belonging to the Hedychium genus, which is primarily grown for its large, showy flowers and ornamental value in gardens. Galangal, or Thai ginger, has a sharp, citrusy flavor and is frequently used in Southeast Asian cuisine, particularly in curries and soups. Japanese ginger, scientifically known as Zingiber myoga, produces edible flower buds and young shoots utilized in Japanese culinary traditions for pickling and seasoning. When choosing ginger root for planting, select pieces that are firm, plump, and free from mold or soft spots. Look for ginger with well-defined growth buds, indicating vitality. Opt for organic ginger when possible to avoid growth inhibitors used in non-organic varieties. We will reference ginger rhizomes in this video. A ginger rhizome is a modified underground stem that serves as the primary storage organ and means of propagation for the ginger plant. It is often referred to simply as ginger root. The rhizome is elongated, knobby, and typically has a pale yellowish-brown outer skin with a yellow to orange interior. It contains the plant's nutrients and stores carbohydrates that fuel growth and reproduction. When planted, these rhizomes give rise to new ginger plants, producing both underground rhizomes and above-ground foliage. Soaking ginger roots before planting helps to rehydrate them, making it easier for them to sprout once they're in the soil. This step is crucial, especially if the ginger root has been dried out or stored for an extended period. By soaking the root overnight, you're essentially giving it a jump start and encouraging the dormant buds to awaken and initiate growth. When cutting the ginger root into smaller sections, it's essential to ensure that each piece has at least one visible growth bud, or eye. These buds are where the new shoots will emerge, so having them present in each section increases the likelihood of successful sprouting. Using a sharp knife for cutting is important because it minimizes damage to the root and creates clean, precise cuts, which are less prone to rot or infection. Additionally, cutting with a sharp knife promotes faster healing of the cut surfaces, allowing the root to allocate more energy towards producing new growth rather than repairing damage. Whenever possible, prioritize organic ginger roots to avoid exposure to potentially harmful chemicals or pesticides that could inhibit the plant's growth. If you're dealing with a large ginger root, consider dividing it into several smaller sections, each containing at least one bud. This practice can increase the number of plants you can grow from a single root. Handle the ginger root with care to avoid damaging the buds, which are essential for sprouting. Gentle handling ensures that the plant has the best chance of thriving once it's in the soil. Ginger roots should be planted in well-draining, fertile soil with a pH level between 6.1 and 6.5, which mimics its native tropical environment. Select a planting location with partial sunlight to provide warmth and protection from harsh, direct sunlight. When planting, ensure the ginger root is positioned horizontally, with the buds facing upward and covered with a thin layer of soil, approximately 1 to 2 inches deep. Maintain consistent moisture levels in the soil, avoiding waterlogging, which can lead to rot. Apply a layer of mulch around the planted ginger to retain moisture and suppress weed growth. Consider using organic fertilizers or compost to enrich the soil before planting ginger root, as they provide essential nutrients for growth. To promote healthy root development, space ginger plants about 8 to 10 inches apart in rows, allowing sufficient room for expansion. Water newly planted ginger root thoroughly, but avoid overwatering, as excessive moisture can lead to fungal diseases. In cooler climates, consider growing ginger in containers indoors or in a greenhouse to provide the warmth and humidity it requires for optimal growth. Monitor the plants regularly for pests such as aphids, mites, or nematodes, and address any infestations promptly with organic pest control methods. As the ginger plants grow, provide support for taller varieties using stakes or trellises to prevent them from bending or toppling over. Harvest ginger roots when the leaves begin to turn yellow and die back, typically around 8 to 10 months after planting. Gently dig around the rhizomes and lift them from the soil, being careful not to damage the roots. Ginger plants require regular watering to keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Aim to water deeply, ensuring that the soil is evenly moist throughout the root zone. Apply a balanced fertilizer or organic compost every few weeks during the growing season to provide essential nutrients for healthy growth and development. Mulch around the base of ginger plants to retain soil moisture, suppress weed growth, and regulate soil temperature. Organic mulches such as straw or shredded leaves work well for this purpose. Monitor the plants for pests and diseases, such as aphids, root rot, or fungal infections, and take appropriate measures to control them. Organic insecticidal soap or neem oil can be effective against common pests, while proper sanitation practices help prevent disease spread. Provide adequate sunlight by placing ginger plants in a location with partial to full shade, especially in warmer climates. Protect them from harsh afternoon sun to prevent leaf scorching. As the plants mature, harvest ginger rhizomes by carefully digging them up from the soil. Use a garden fork or trowel to loosen the soil around the rhizomes, then lift them out gently to avoid damage. Store harvested ginger rhizomes in a cool, dry place with good air circulation to prevent mold or rot. Alternatively, freeze or dry ginger for long-term storage and use in culinary applications. Harvest ginger rhizomes when the plant is mature, typically 8 to 10 months after planting. Look for yellowing leaves and a fading of green color in the stems as indicators of readiness. To harvest, carefully dig around the base of the plant, loosening the soil to avoid damaging the rhizomes. Gently lift the rhizomes from the soil, taking care not to break or bruise them. After harvesting, wash the rhizomes thoroughly to remove soil and debris. Trim any excess roots or foliage, leaving only the main rhizomes intact. Allow the harvested ginger to air dry for a few days in a warm, well-ventilated area. This helps toughen the skin and reduce moisture content, prolonging storage life. Store ginger rhizomes in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. You can store them in the refrigerator for up to a few weeks or freeze them for longer-term storage. Alternatively, dry ginger slices or powder for extended shelf life. Ginger plants require minimal maintenance once established, but benefit from regular care to ensure healthy growth and productivity. Keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged, especially during the growing season, to support robust root development. Mulching around the plants helps retain moisture and suppresses weed growth. Inspect the plants regularly for signs of pests, such as aphids or spider mites, and diseases like fungal infections. Treat any infestations promptly with organic pest control methods or approved pesticides, following the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Additionally, provide adequate air circulation around the plants by spacing them appropriately and pruning any overcrowded foliage. This helps prevent fungal diseases and promotes overall plant health. Regularly remove any yellowing or diseased leaves to maintain plant vigor. Harvest ginger roots when the plant's leaves begin to turn yellow and die back, typically around 8-10 months after planting. Carefully dig around the base of the plant to unearth the rhizomes, being gentle to avoid damaging them. Shake off excess soil and trim the foliage, leaving a couple of inches of stem attached to each rhizome. After harvesting, allow the rhizomes to air dry in a shaded, well-ventilated area for a few days to cure. Once dry, store them in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. Properly stored ginger can last several weeks to months, providing a fresh supply for culinary use. Monitor your ginger plants for common issues like yellowing leaves, which could indicate nutrient deficiencies or overwatering. Ensure proper drainage to prevent root rot and maintain soil moisture levels. Pests like aphids and spider mites can also be a problem. Treat infestations promptly with insecticidal soap or neem oil. Additionally, watch for signs of disease such as fungal infections, and promptly remove and dispose of affected plant parts to prevent spread. It's also essential to regularly inspect the ginger plants for signs of overcrowding. If the plants become too crowded, they may compete for nutrients and space, leading to stunted growth and reduced yields. Consider thinning out the plants if necessary, leaving adequate space between them for optimal growth. Additionally, providing support for taller ginger varieties can prevent bending or breakage of stems, especially during heavy rainfall or windy conditions. Planting ginger root is a rewarding and straightforward process that can yield a bountiful harvest of this versatile and flavorful spice. By selecting healthy ginger rhizomes, preparing them properly through soaking and cutting, and planting them in well-draining soil with the right environmental conditions, you can enjoy the satisfaction of growing your own ginger at home. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or a novice, with the tips and techniques outlined in this video, you'll be well equipped to embark on your ginger growing journey. Happy gardening!